Good morning. It's almost noon. Good afternoon. By the time this goes up, it'll be noon. Anyway, I talked yesterday in my live stream about the 11th Amendment, and I got some comments in my comment section about how Chille is now a resident of Nevada. Could have fooled me. Every document that he files has a California address on it, and in every pleading he's ever filed, he's listed California as his residence. So he's a citizen of the state of California. So there you go. But assuming arguendo that he is in fact a citizen of Nevada, that doesn't change my analysis one iota. Remember, I started off talking about how the 11th Amendment prevents a state from being sued by a citizen of another state. And I said that subsequent Supreme Court decisions have enlarged that. And what I meant by that, I didn't go into it at the time because I wasn't aware that Chille is now allegedly a citizen of the state of Nevada, was that it has been enlarged to capture suits by citizens of a state against their own state. So sovereign immunity applies in a suit by a California citizen against the state of California, or a Nevada citizen against the state of Nevada, just as much as it applies against a citizen of a state of California suing the state of Nevada, or a citizen of the state of Nevada suing the state of California. The reason why I brought up the Mills versus Michigan Department of Corrections case was because Mills, who is a resident of the state of Michigan, was suing the Michigan Department of Corrections. And the theory, their argument as to how they could get around that sovereign immunity, that 11th Amendment sovereign immunity, was that Congress had allowed a special form of lawsuit, a 42 U.S.C. 1983 lawsuit, and a Supreme Court decision, Manel, had created a theory of respondeat superior liability for lower subdivisions of a state, cities and counties. And the argument in Mills versus Michigan Department of Corrections was that that somehow would allow for a state to have Manel liability under 42 U.S.C. 1983. And in Mills, the Supreme Court said, no, the state is not a person, and there's no Manel liability there. So that was the full context. Maybe I've explained it a little bit better now that I've had an opportunity to not be as rushed. Anyway, my point is, I went over it just inartfully. So hopefully this is a little bit better. Hopefully you understand it. It doesn't matter what state he's in. The 11th Amendment applies, and the 1983 lawsuit, there's a specific case on point from the United States Supreme Court that says you cannot sue a state under Manel liability, 42 U.S.C. 1983. So it is written, so shall it be. What I find kind of interesting on a slightly different note, now we're going to talk about Floyd Wallace versus the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. But we had discussed last week sometime a motion by the LVMPD to do two things. Number one, to get an order from the court preventing Chille de Castro from practicing law by representing Floyd Wallace. Preparing pleadings for people, giving legal advice to people in their little case is going to be the practice of law. So number one, they want an order saying Chille de Castro can't practice law in this case. And number two, they want an order striking all of the pleadings that arguably were drafted by Chille de Castro, which would be the complaint, And I said at the time that it is very likely that they're going to get their order about Chille de Castro, and very unlikely that they're going to get the pleading struck. And apparently, and I've just casually glanced at it. I have not read it. I have not read it especially in detail, but I have just skimmed it ever so quickly. Now, apparently, Floyd is going to file a motion for sanctions against them for a frivolous filing against LVMPD because they didn't adequately argue that Chille is practicing law and why he should be restricted from representing Floyd Wallace. Now, on the one hand, if Floyd Wallace was concentrating on the striking of the pleadings, if he was saying, "Look, I don't have an attorney, or no one's been representing me. this Chille Castro guy has not been writing my pleadings. These are mine. I copied them off a template. I did copy them, but it's mine. I did it. He didn't do it. I did it. And I just used his as a template, and it was me, and yada yada, right? The court wouldn't read much into it. They'd be like, okay, you're acting on your own, fine. But they'd still probably say, Chille, you can't practice law in here just to be safe. Always better safe than sorry, because it's not hurting Floyd Wallace. In fact, it's helping him by preventing an unlicensed person from practicing law. So the court would be like, okay, cool. Look at all these good things I'm doing. I'm protecting the pro per. I'm not hurting him at all. And it doesn't hurt anybody in this case for me to issue this order. Now on the striking of the pleadings, that would hurt Floyd Wallace. And so the court is very unlikely to do that. But now you have Floyd coming in there saying, oh, you don't issue this order about Chille representing me. Well, then the court's going to be like, you know what? If Chille wasn't representing you, then you wouldn't care at all about this order. But if he is representing you, well, then I really should file this, or I really should issue this order. So what is the court most likely to do in this situation? I would posit to you that Floyd, merely by the fact that he filed this motion for sanctions, has increased the chances that his pleadings get struck. He's increased it. He is making it more likely that Chille is actually representing him. He's removing doubt from the court. I almost guarantee it. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Sorry for the confusion. It doesn't matter what state Chille is a resident of. And somebody else asked me in the comment section, like, what do you mean? I'm not from the U.S. What does it mean to be a resident of a state? Well, think of it as like the European Union. And, if you're a Polish citizen, you can live anywhere in the European Union and you can work there, etc. But you're still a citizen of Poland, right? That's kind of the way the U.S. is. It's not. The states don't issue passports or anything like that, but the states are responsible for issuing driver's license. If you're a resident of the state, you have to pay taxes in that state. And typically, your main domicile, the place that you intend to return to, the place that you intend to live, is going to be the state you're a citizen of. And you can change it very easily by simply moving to another state and not intending to return, right? So if I sell my house and I buy a house in Nevada and I move to Nevada, well, now I become a citizen of the state of Nevada. If I keep my house and I buy a hunting lodge in the state of Nevada that I intend to go to a couple times a year to go hunting, well, yes, I own property there, but I'm not a citizen of that state. I'm still a citizen of the state of California because that's where my primary domicile is. That's where I live. That's where I intend to return to. I go there on my hunting trips, but I intend to return to California. So that's a real top level view of it. I don't really care where Chille is a resident of. Doesn't matter to me. Doesn't change my analysis. I'm not sending him love letters or tax statements, so I don't care where he lives. So, but if you care where he lives, then have fun. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.